happening, guys and girls? Welcome back to the channel. I feel like such a Fruit Loop just stood here with a camera in my hand talking to myself in my kitchen. But anyway, I'm so glad that you guys all enjoyed the RS6 video. We had great fun making it. The RS6 is now home. I'm back in the UK. I drove it back on that Sunday. Again, absolutely no bother whatsoever. I still need to actually wash all of the Irish grime off that car. But that is on my to-do list, and we all have a long one of those. And speaking of to-dos, I was thinking, seeing as we are now in November, we are in November as of today. Yeah, we are, as of today. It's getting to that time of year when it also starts getting really grimy and really bad on the roads. Like, they start to salt the roads once it gets colder, but actually this year, because apparently, you know, it's like 18 degrees at the end of October because our climate isn't slightly changing. Make of that what you will. This is around the time of year when I start to tuck away the 930, just simply because, you know, she just needs to be looked after and she doesn't need to be out on the salty roads. So I'm gonna take her out for a last sort of drive around this afternoon and start to tuck her up for bed. But I did notice something the other day when I was looking around the car. I have started to notice a little bit of a rust spot, which I'm panicking about. Probably nothing, but I'm gonna go and get it looked at. I'm just gonna have a nice little day out, aren't we? This is my life, this is what I get up to. You all think I'm dead glamorous. Well, you probably don't. But at the same time, what I'm saying is, this is my day to day. It's not that exciting. So let's find the keys for the 930. This is something that I've actually noticed with age, is having a key box. I have got such bad ADHD that I'll put keys down anywhere. So now I have my little key box, I know where everything is. Talk about adulting, lads. I do need to move this car out of the way if I want to get this one out, but for the moment, we will just wake her up, because sometimes she can be a little bit grumpy when you first wake her up after a minute or so. Okay. Hello, little girl. Right. Oh, I love the smell. It's always the smell of this thing once you get in it. Okay, let's just pop the door like so. Okay, let's wake her up. Oh, on the money, every time. Funny thing is, I have sat in this car before and just sat and listened to the engine, and then I was like, whew, it's getting a little bit fumey in here. And I was like, oh, okay, that's how people do that. But mine was inadvertently. I was just enjoying the car for a second. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let this run off a little bit for a minute, let her warm up, because as I said, it is getting colder. Let the oil circulate around that engine, because that is the one thing that I'm always scared of with this, is that I have any engine problems or anything like that. I mean, it is part of owning a classic car. You just have to give them a little bit more time, a little bit more care, a little bit more attention. So let's move that E92, let this go warm up, and then I will show you what I've been talking about when it comes to that little bit of rust I was talking about. Okay? Perfect. Okay, so I just checked the oil on the dipstick and it's a little bit lower than I'd like it to be. It's not in any kind of danger zone, but I think one of the first things I'm going to do, as I am, as I said, when I first got in the car, terrified of anything happening to do with oil starvation in the engine, I'm going to go grab some oil and then we will get on with our day. Yes, we will. Let's go. Uh-oh. Okay, so I turned the car off just to run around, do some things for a second. I've come back and the car is now just cranking and not going. But I've just done a little bit of sleuthing, and also, I won't lie, James is on FaceTime to me right here as well. Say hi. Say hi, James.
Hello.
So we're just figuring it out now.
Oh, hello.
What we cannot hear.
You're talking to her.
No, what we cannot hear is the fuel pump. You know, every time we get in the car, like, that's the first thing you hear. It's got a really aggressive fuel pump. So we're thinking that there is a fuse gone, or the pump has died. Well, first one, quite easy to fix. Second one, not quite as easy to fix, right?
Yeah, not when I'm here anyway.
I love, you're like, it's like Inception. So like he's here in spirit. So I'm gonna have a little hunt round now on a forum and see if I can figure out, or we can figure out, whether that fuse is gone. So bear with, we might not be going anywhere today as it is. Look at what?
Look, here, boy.
Are you telling me to look at the dog or?
Yeah, it's for that.
Oh, it's like a wolf
Hey.
dog.
Here, boy. Sit.
He gets really easily distracted. I'll go look for the fuse. Okay, so I've taken out this little panel here, which is just the side. I'll just let it focus. There was a panel just here, and the fuses that I can see right here, we had them out and had a quick look at them, but they all seem to be intact. Okay, so after doing a little bit more investigation online, I have found the location of the fuse box. It is actually in the front of the car. So I've got this out here and taken this plate off, which has revealed to me all of the fuses. Now, having a look at them to the naked eye, they all look okay, bar this one here, which is fuse 6. So this one is like, it looks a bit melted. There's like a bit of black sludge coming out the bottom of there. And when I actually had a look at the key, which actually very kindly this car still has with it, fuse 6 is actually the fuel pump. So if this one here, this is fuse 6, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that this is our problem. I can't even get it out. Okay, there we go. Yeah. So I would say that is our problem, lads. This is couple's car stuff. So I've looked at the fuse, and it looks pretty melted.
Yeah, and was there plastic after going underwear make contact?
I will. Not really. It looks pretty clean in there, but the actual fuse itself doesn't look in great shape.
Does it say what amp it is? 20 amp?
It is a 25.
Yeah, I'd get a fresh 25 if you could.
Okay. All right, we'll go do that. Thank you. I like the fact that I'm looking increasingly disheveled the more as this goes on. Okay, so I do remember when I got the car, Adrian said that he put a couple of things into the glove box, which thank you very much, Adrian, if this all works out. So let's have a quick look, see if there's any fuses in here, which are kind of like, to be fair, my dad always used to say to me, like, you should always have spark plugs and fuses with you in the car. So if there isn't ones here, then this is, should have listened to my dad. Okay. Moment of truth. We have a book and a hat and a bag. Ding, ding, ding. Now hopefully this is Adrian at Adrian Crawford's doing me a massive favour. So these are 25 amp Continental fuses. So this looks like, why am I being such a sausage fingers? Anyway, look, I'll try and get this out of here. But these are like, they could solve the problem. So I'll give one of these a bash and see if we can turn this girl over. Is there any particular way that they go in? Is it A first? Okay, let's just stick that in there like so. They go underneath. Okay, so we have a new fuse. Let's see if we can turn this on. Okay, moment of truth. Oh, yes. As soon as I heard the fuel pump, I was like, amazing. Okay, we're back on the road. Fine, that's good news. Delighted about that. Fair play to Adrian Crawford for leaving me some fuses in the car, because otherwise that'd have been a pain. So, back on with the day. Sorry about that short little delay. God. Are the joys of having older cars, so I'm delighted that that's just popped straight back in and it was only just a fuse. It's one of those moments where you're like, oh God, if that is the fuel pump, then I need to find one, I need to find someone to fix it, yada, yada, yada. So, just gonna grab some oil, and then we're gonna go and have a look at this little bit of rust, which now, at the moment, seems to be probably the least of my worries, but it's nice to be back out in the old girl. I love autumn, you know, and it's just like the leaves are changing colour, it's not quite too rainy yet, but it's nice and crisp, like a crisp Saturday morning going out for a drive. Or a ride. I do have something very special landing for myself for Christmas, which should be coming in the next week or so, which I'm excited to show you. That'd be fun. Can't really do much with it this time of year, but do you know what? It's a Christmas present from me to me. And I'm also stuck in traffic. It's alright. There's worse places to be. Okay, we have got the goods. Put it in this thing. The traffic. I've never seen traffic down here before. This is the only problem when putting oil in this car is because of where the sort of intercooler is and where the oil pipe is. It's like you have to get like a bit of an awkward bend to try and get the oil in without pouring it everywhere, which I have done before, which is a disaster. So you have to get the right bend on the oil, but this is actually going in just nicely.
Turbo.
It is a turbo, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's my baby.
How often do you have to put that in?
Well, it depends.
Is there a problem?
No, it just breathes a bit of oil, and like you just need to keep an eye on the oil levels because otherwise you get oil starvation. It's death. But yeah, no, literally you just keep an eye on the oil levels when you take it out for a bit. So it's just general maintenance. Okay, back on the road. I always find that whenever you talk to anybody about an old car, their dad or somebody always had one, you know? Like, they're always like, oh my God, I used to have one of these. And it's like mad. Like, well, I'm never going to sell it, so don't ask me if it's for sale. No, it is actually really nice. Lots of people always come and chat to me about this car. And I can't find the key. So I'm going to go sit in a traffic jam and then we will eventually get to our destination. I feel like this is the most drawn out video ever. It was supposed to be simple. A to B, have a look. Is it okay? And now so far, yeah, you know the story. Just whilst I'm stuck in traffic, to this day, I don't know why that has been put in upside down, but it works in the right order. Do you think they just like wired it up and then they were like, oh bollocks, that's actually the wrong way around? And then they just thought, we'll put it in upside down instead? Probably. I don't know. Okay, so this was what I was taking the car over to the guys at PCT to have a look at. So there was originally a piece of like rubber trim on here and that has managed to become unstuck. So I left that in the garage, but I noticed underneath that there is a little bit of rust starting to show. So I just wanted to have the guys look at it because they were telling me that in the kidney bowls here, this is a really common place. By the sills, the B pillar, and in the kidney bowls here is a really common area for them to rust, and once they start to go it can get pretty dicey pretty quickly. So they've had a look at this and they said it's not too bad. It looks really quite surface, something that could be sort of taken back and repainted, but this is going to be something that I am going to start probably addressing very soon, because I really feel like with this car you need to just get on things quickly, because I don't want to let it get to a point where it's like going to cost me so much more in the future. I'd rather try and be preventative now. I'd say the good news is that they've had a look at it. They've said that it's not too bad. What I will do now is start to make a plan to probably get the car in and to have this fixed. I don't want to get it resprayed just yet because I love the patina of the paint. Like, I think at the end of the day it's an original paint sample car from Germany. The longer I leave it in its original guise, the better, just because it is the story of the car. But I will definitely start to get this looked at in the very near future. But there are loads of other things that need to be sorted on the car as well. I want to get a few little bits of interior things done. So this just means that I need to start that story with the 930 a little bit quicker than I thought I was going to need to. But that's fine. It's all part of the fun, hey? Driving this car, whatever the weather, whatever the month, whatever the day. It's my absolute favourite machine that I've ever bought in my life. And it gets warm really quickly. Lovely. Okay, so she's home safe and sound. It's been an eventful afternoon. I feel like from just wanting to just take the car out for a drive, and then I was like, do you know what, I'll get this done and that done. And then it ended up being the day that it has been. You've been along with me for the ride. So this car, I have to admit, has just been perfect as it is for a while. There's been a few things that I've needed to get sorted. You know, I wanted to get some fog light replacements because in the front you can see there's just sort of like, as I was pulling the car in, where the original fog lights were, they've just meshed them off. I'm either going to get like a nicer, you know, like type of mesh to go there, or I will actually reinstate the original fog lights. And I have still been thinking about putting maybe like a 15-inch rim with a big chunky style tyre on it as well, sort of Magnus Walker style, just to kind of change up the look of the car a little bit. And I also need to go to an interior place to have a look at the carpets because I do want to make all of that a little bit nicer inside. Having an older car definitely teaches you a bit more practicality as well. You know, if you get into a normal car, turn it on and it doesn't start, you'd be like, oh my God, that's it, I need to be recovered. Whereas this, like, imagine being recovered for the sake of a fuse. I don't know. Anyway, I'm learning all the time. Learning all the time. What's happening? I am getting ready to go to Texas. Next week, me and James are heading out to Drift Week, so there's going to be a lot of drifting content coming up. We have a bash coming up. I have another driving day. I have my footage from Japan coming. There's loads of fun stuff and a new arrival to the garage, which I'm very excited about. So there's lots of stuff on the horizon. So thanks so much for joining me on this video. I'm going to make sure that the old girl is nice and dry now. But other than that, enjoy your evenings. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.